One.
Yo, welcome back, Real Fan Sports Podcast, episode 19. It's been a little while. We're back. We're better. We out here. What's good, y'all?
What's up?
A lot to talk about today.
What up?
Got a lot of basketball.
Boy,
a lot of basketball.
Basketball, hockey, surprisingly. We got a little bit to talk about that as well. Some experiences, some things going on with that. What's good, y'all? Yo, Gabe, what's up with you over there?
I'm chilling, man. I'm actually
Struggling. Trying to download
watching...
his porn.
Yeah, focus on one stream, and then this stream right now, bro.
So Julian, NFL, your boy
NFL.
Tebow got signed. What the hell? What happened?
My
man?
boy.
I thought he was done for.
Tebow.
My boy Tebow. My boy Tebow. My what?
So it's official now. He got signed. So like, what do you? How are you feeling right now? You feeling better than you felt when they drafted Trevor Lawrence?
Dude, man, I don't know, dude.
I'm
hearing so many like.
It's your franchise player right here. He's bringing us to the Super Bowl. He's bringing you guys. That is your savior.
Jojo's just upset because the Jets no longer have him.
What?
Your Jets, man. Your New York Jets.
I'm definitely not a Jets fan. I don't know where you got that from, but okay. Okay.
New York, man. New York.
But you guys thought you found your quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, but I think you found your quarterback in Tim Tebow. So
this guy.
Congratulations.
Listen, that's the trick, right? They playing tight end. And this is what's gonna happen, right? You'll start the first game. You see how Miami did it with Fitzmagic and Tua taking turns. That's gonna be your boy Tebow and Trevor Lawrence
coming in Tebow time at like the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left.
That's the real reason they brought in. I guarantee, if anything happens to Trevor Lawrence, who's your backup? They're gonna throw in Tebow.
Got Minshew. We got fucking characters there, dude. I tell you what, we should be on Hard Knocks.
Bro,
if we didn't have a first-year head coach, we would definitely be on Hard Knocks because
what is this? You guys, what are you like NFL Streets team out here? You just picking up random players?
Man, I don't know how I feel about this. I've been bouncing back and forth because a part of me is like, I mean, who fucking cares? It's 90 people on a roster. Like, let's see if he makes it. But then another part of me is like, well, I mean, you still could go out. Like, there's somebody else that could get it. But then it's just like, let's be real. Like, the 90th worst player on the team is like a bum anyways. And I was telling Gabe and Destin this last week, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, there's nothing to do about it. He's in the fucking, I saw the video of him walking to practice. He got number 85. I saw too, the past 48 hours or 24 hours, he's already the top 5 most selling items on NFL Shop are all Tebow related. The top 5 selling items on NFL Shop right now for the past.
Right, my question for you, right? When the season starts, whose jersey you're buying first? Lawrence or Tebow?
I'm not buying a fucking Tebow jersey. He's 85 now. 85 because Gardner Minshew has 15. So I wonder if he stays 85 or what.
Check this here, right? You guys are hearing this guarantee. You guys are hearing this live. If the Jacksonville Jaguars win the Super Bowl, I will buy Julian Tim Tebow. I will buy you the jersey, bro.
Sign Tim Tebow.
I don't know about sign because you're not gonna find me nowhere near Jacksonville, Florida. But
what this year or just in general?
No, like this year.
If
they win this year,
all time, it's a forever bet.
I will buy you a Tim Tebow jersey.
How about this? If they win within the next 3 years, you buy me a Tim Tebow jersey.
Listen, we can't guarantee he's going to be on the team for the next 3 years. So let's just see how this year goes. Let's see how this year goes.
But my thing too is like he's going to be kind of a small tight end. He's 6'2" and around, I'm guessing 240. Like it's kind of short for a tight end. Tight ends are normally like 6'4" or taller, and they're usually about, I guess 240 is not crazy, but usually like 250, 240. But you can move. The thing is, they keep on putting that one play that Tebow ran as a tight end with the New York Jets, my bad. Where he like did it out. He like went out and did a post, and then Mark Sanchez threw it to him and it bounced off his fucking helmet. And they keep on showing that, but I'm like, man, I mean, y'all wrong for that. Like, let's be real. Like you can't. Like I'm sure he's worked on it, but I mean, like we said, we'll see. I think he kind of
playing baseball the last couple years. Has he been working?
The one thing you can't take away from him, he is a hard ass worker. He went from single A all the way to triple A after not touching a bat since like high school. Like
I truly believe that.
And he,
aside all the, Tebow jokes and everything, I do respect his work ethic, his motivation, his people skills. He's a true believer, and he might make that team a believing team.
I really like
that's the difference.
Like I understand the point where it's like, oh, who the fuck's gonna like listen to a third string tight end? But I mean, he is a very powerful like dude and a very like outspoken guy. And the one thing like everybody always says, it's nothing against Tebow, because everybody says Tebow is like one of the nicest people you'll ever meet on this planet. Like everybody has kind words to say about him. It's nothing against him. It's just the circus that he brings, like the media attention, and then just like these crazy fans and just everything else. And like a lot of people are saying like he shouldn't deserve the shot or whatever. But it's like, you know what? He got the opportunity. You can't change, like things are just how it is. That's how the world works. Your network is your net worth. It's just like, he got the shot. Now let's see what he does, man. Let's see what he does. He's officially signed.
I could agree with that. A lot of people are saying, this spot can go to someone more deserving. Someone that's been working hard. But I feel like, one, national college champion. Two, he's made the NFL already, so he's kind of already proved himself. Even though he didn't really last long, but he proved himself by making it to the NFL, becoming a starting quarterback. And three, like you said, man, honestly, it really is about who you know, or actually more important, who knows you, right? So, he networked with some people. Yeah, everyone knows him. And hey, man, let's see what he can do, right? We get all the Tebow jokes. I'm actually curious to see what he can do out there.
And I was gonna say, I think real quick, I think he has a chance because we literally don't have a tight end on the roster. So like he has unless we do something to get Zach Ertz from Philly, because there's rumors about him getting cut. And like, unless we get Zach Ertz from Philly, Tebow has a legitimate shot. Like, there's nobody. And tight ends are one of the hardest things to come by. Think about it. There's probably only 4 or 5 tight ends. Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, Gronk. Not even really Gronk, but like, there's not a lot of tight ends out there. So there's a lot of like, I don't know. He has a shot. I think if he actually plays well and he's healthy and he's worked out and he's stayed in shape, like, he might do some shit. But what were you saying, Gabe?
I was gonna say, that's like what are you expecting out of him? Like, I don't expect that much, especially because, like you said, tight ends might be hard to come by, but like he's learning a new position that he's never done before. So like, there's been a lot of guys who maybe they played basketball and then like their last year of college they went to tight end or something, or like Julian Edelman was a quarterback and then all of a sudden they put him at wide receiver or something. But at least he had that time in college to develop. This guy's been out of the game for a while. And now he's going to come back in learning a new position. So if you're expecting him to be your number one top tight end, top 3 tight end, like, I think that's pretty ridiculous. But if you expect him to come in spots and do a couple trick plays, or not be a number 1 guy on your team, then I think that's probably more realistic than trying to expect him to be your top receiver. He's going to be hot hands, 100 receptions in a year. I think that's a little bit more ridiculous. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I mean, honestly, the way our team's set up, I don't think we're going to have a number 1 tight end, because we have 2 blocking tight ends that can't catch for shit. They're purely just an extension of the offensive line. They're just blocking tight ends. Then we have 1 receiving tight end, and then you have Tebow. And realistically, I don't see Tebow blocking. There's no way in hell you're blocking him. You're putting him out to block. Like, we have blocking tight ends. He's going to be, everybody's talking about like, oh, Tebow can't block. Wait till he goes up against JJ Watt in week 2 against Arizona. He's not blocking, dude. I don't know what, like, honestly, ESPN pisses me off sometimes because they just you can tell that they're clearly making ridiculous takes just to like get attention. And it's like, you don't know shit about the team. Like you don't, like, you really don't. You're just talking out of your ass. Like, no shit, Tebow's not gonna. You telling me? You kidding me? Of course he's not gonna fucking block. Just run if you want Tebow out there and you want to have another tight end, you bring in a 2 tight end set, have somebody else block, and Tebow goes on. There's no way in hell he's blocking. So like this idea that he's gonna, he can't block. Well, no shit, Sherlock, he can't block, and he's not going to. Like I see him, like I said, maybe some out routes, maybe some wildcat goal line packages. If he does make the team, I don't think he makes the team and goes to the practice squad, or makes the team and just sits on the bench. He's gonna do something. Like I think if he makes a team, he's going to do something. It's going to be like some little gadget plays, but yeah,
we shall see going forward. That was just what happened in the NFL recent news. He just got signed. But I want to talk about hockey real quick because hockey playoffs is going on right now. Last time we were together was Sunday night. We were in Sunrise, Florida. If y'all checked us on IG or whatever.
Okay, hold on. Did you say something about hockey? You said hockey?
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting. It's my time to shine right here.
Wow.
We got a Michigan Panthers fan in the house.
Yeah. I thought,
guys, so y'all know.
I thought you were a Rangers fan.
Your boy went to his first hockey game the other day. We were talking about on the last podcast. We were saying they driving me crazy, try to get me out to this game. They convinced me, right? Try something new, see how it is. All I gotta say is that was definitely something exciting. It was a playoff game going against defending champs Lightning. Too bad they didn't win, but Panthers.
So you no longer a Rangers fan? You dropped the Rangers?
Listen, man. You see this right here?
Fear no one.
Fear no one.
Fear no one.
Yo, just embrace it. Don't try to be a Rangers fan. Just be a Panthers fan, dude.
Listen, first hockey game I ever go to, I live in Miami here. I think it's only right.
Yeah.
I'm an adopted Panthers fan.
All right, cool. As long as you don't root for the Rangers, it's like, or the Islanders.
I'm only gonna root for them when they start winning. So you'll catch me in the next year.
But if they go against each other, who are you rooting for?
That's gonna be a tough one. Experiences or where I'm from.
Well, that doesn't apply to any other sport you follow. That doesn't apply to any other sport you follow. So.
Well,
but it was definitely dope, man. And they won last night, so the series right now is what 2-1.
Guaranteed another home game.
Yeah. So tomorrow night they're playing against Tampa, obviously at Tampa. They're playing two. They just played two in Sunrise. We went to the Sunday game. Oh, I'm sorry, the Tuesday game. And they're gonna play tomorrow, Saturday night, in Tampa. Coming off a big win. I think they won 6-5 in overtime.
Yeah, that game was crazy, dude. So I don't know if you saw the game or watched any of the highlights or anything.
That was definitely a must-win game for them.
Yeah, they were up 2-0, I believe. Then Tampa came back. It was 2-2. Then Tampa scored again, and then Tampa was up 3-2. Then Florida scored 3-3. Then Tampa scored 2 and went up 5-3. And then, like, the final period with, 5 minutes left, Panthers scored 2 to tie it to go to overtime. And then,
if they can steal one more game at home, just like how Tampa went through here, and then bring it home, get that win, you put yourself in a position to win the series 3-2. Whether you don't win that, game 6 or not, it still gives you the momentum going into game 7. You know what I mean?
At least they proved that they. I was going to say too. At least they proved that they can win they can win away. So if they can come in tomorrow and win, I mean, they both clean sweep their away games. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, listen.
Then we're resetting. And then Panthers still have home ice advantage.
Look at what they just did, right? They won OT on the road, down 2-0 against the defending champs. That's not easy.
Yeah.
To stay alive?
Yeah, down 5-3. Yeah, down 5-3, in the third period with 5 minutes left to come back. That's wild.
That's ridiculous.
If you saw that last play with how they scored, it was a face-off, I think, on their side, and the puck came out, and
that was sturdy, dude.
Gudis lobbed it up. So Gudis lobbed it up towards the middle, kind of like a soccer, like a cross. Sometimes when they pass it to somebody ahead of them.
No,
lobbed it up in front.
Lob, yeah.
Yeah, lobbed it up to I think Vetrano. It was Vetrano and Lomberg. They were going head to head 2-on-2, and he he kind of dove. He was kind of out of his grasp. He kind of dove, pushed it forward, and Lomberg was able. He was just sprinting, bro. If you saw this guy Lomberg, he was just sprinting as fast as he could. Got past his defender, fucking scored.
One on one with the goalie.
Yeah, 1-on-1 with the goalie, which is what you want. You never want a defender and the goalie in front of you.
I thought when I saw that, I was like, that shit. It just looked like soccer. It looked exactly like soccer, like the way he just chip. That's the word, I can't think of it. He chip shots it over his head, and then the other guy zooms past him and he grabs it, and then he comes up and has 1-on-1 with the goalie and just scores to win the game. And that shit was awesome. That looked like some messy shit. Yeah. Like, it was awesome.
And it's fun to see them come back because a lot of times they don't have a problem scoring. I don't think the Panthers have a problem scoring. The problem is they play defense like lazily. They've had in the past where they come back late in games like that, but they always give up. They always give up goals early as fuck. Like in the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes, they give up goals, and it's like, damn. It's like, why can't you just defend hard so you don't have to? You're not trying to do these crazy comebacks where you have to score 2 points in the last one and then score in overtime. Like
they can't hold leads. They can't hold leads.
Yeah. But they can come back from them, but it's just like they can't. You know what I mean? They don't.
And again, like, what's the probability of that? It's pretty tough. Obviously, the sport itself. Yeah. Like, you don't want to go down 2-3, points, and then all right, now you got to put it all in. Chug up random shots. You get
You're asking a lot.
Unorganized. You know what I mean? The pressure kicks in. You're looking at the time. Like, play some good defense, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, going to that game though was pretty cool. That was actually the first NHL playoff game. I went to a regular season game, but the energy for a playoff game is just so much different. Yeah. It's so much different. It was one of the best like sports experiences I've had. It's up there, like right up there when I went to Game 6 with the Orlando Magic versus the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2009 when they had Dwight Howard and them boys, and LeBron was his first stint with Cleveland. Like, that's up there for me. Like that was just a really cool atmosphere. And just like those towels Jojo had, and like everybody waves it like when we score, like it was pretty dope. It was dope.
I would say last time I went to a hockey game, it was like the previous year before, and I could say it was like a mixed bag. I think we were playing the Maple Leafs one game, and it seemed like maybe the crowd was like 60-40 or whatever, but there were Tampa Bay fans, but they were way less. I would say like 90-10%. You know what I mean? 90 to 10%. 90% Panther fans, maybe 10% Tampa Bay fans.
That's South Florida for you, man. Yeah. That's South Florida. For people who don't know, like, here in South Florida, people don't show up unless it's meaningful games, unless you're good. If you're good and you're going to make the playoffs, people show up. It's not like New York or Boston or Chicago or Green Bay. It's not like one of those where like every single day it's like fucking sold out. No, like South Florida, except for the Heat. The Heat always never have a hard time selling. But every other sport, even the Dolphins, all these other, if you're not winning, like, people just don't show up.
They're not gonna go. Lucky enough if people even show up in the first quarter for those Heat games, by the way. Guys, they
really? Are they that empty?
We're talking about that.
Honestly, man, everyone runs on Miami time. No one gets to the games on time. It'll be the end of the second quarter. That's when you start seeing the seats filled up.
That's what that Panthers game, the most it was filled was probably at National Anthem. National Anthem, like the first 5 minutes of the game, it was the most packed because everybody just kind of there waiting for it to start. And then after that, it just started getting like.
Yeah, the game was a sellout under COVID guidelines, under the new attendance.
Yeah, I guess my guess is like 50%. I guess what it looked like.
Yeah, I think it was around 50%. We were talking about
Yeah, I think it was like 10,000.
Seems so much. 50% seems so much more than it sounds less than what it actually is. Like when you hear 50%, I expect a lot less. Like I expect it to be more open, but like I guess when you think about it, it's like, well, it's like every other seat. And
exactly.
So it still feels pretty packed.
Yeah, it was about 10,000, and like I said, the crowd was very exciting. Like that was probably my first playoff game since like me going back to the old school Marlins games when they were at a Pro Player or Joe Robbie is what I like to call it because that's when I went there to the playoffs. It was still called Joe Robbie.
Sun Life.
Yeah, not Sun Life. It was Joe Robbie to me. That's your old school.
Or Hard Rock.
Robbie. Yeah. But I've never been to a Heat playoff game. I always watch it on TV. Or I've never been to Panthers.
Those Heat games are so expensive, dude. Those things are so expensive.
So it was super exciting, super fun. I'm going to be watching them. Hopefully, after these playoffs, we get a chance to go again. under better circumstances. But I mean, we're gonna watch them tomorrow. Hope they do well. I did a lot of yelling, bro. My throat was I was screaming, bro. I was like, "What is this pass?" I was like, "Look at that foul!" Oh, it was crazy. But super
honestly,
fun.
Let's see. Not to talk premature, but if they make a run for that Stanley Cup, we got to try to get tickets to that game.
I'm like, no, yeah, dead ass. If they make a run, maybe even Eastern Conference Finals. I might try to go. Again.
That'll be dope.
Well,
that'd be really dope.
Y'all open the gates for me. So I'm definitely down to go to another game.
It's intense, dude. It's intense because it's not like constant scoring like other sports. Well, except for soccer. It's like you need these goals, and it's like you don't get one. It's like fuck. It's like so meaningful versus like basketball. You go on runs. Baseball, you go on runs. Football, you kind of go on runs. Soccer is the only thing that kind of really compares.
Jojo, I was gonna say, what did you think about it? Cause I told you it's like a little bit. It's faster than hockey. It's fast. Excuse me. Hockey's faster than basketball because basketball they call timeout and then they make some substitutions. But in hockey, they do that shit on the fly. So like, what did you think about like the speed of the game and like what you're watching? Because I know you didn't know like all about terms and you're not a super huge hockey fan, but like, what did you think about the game overall? Like the speed of it, or maybe the talent of like some of the players that you saw.
I would say it was definitely entertaining. Obviously, I didn't understand the rules. I was here asking Dustin, like, the offsides and everything like that. I don't really know the positions, but obviously I'm open up to learning. Overall, like the sport itself, I'm a sports fan, you know what I mean? And it was dope. It was exciting. It was intense. That thing was brutal. Guys taking hits left and right. The crowd was into it, yelling at the
like
ref,
when he gets railed and everybody's just like, oh, like
you know what I mean? Of course, you're especially when you're a home team, you're always gonna feel like the other team is wrong. You're gonna see a little hit, you're gonna boo that player, you're gonna yell at him, you're gonna see a trip, and then when you see your player do it, you're like, yo, go play. Go play. Go play. That was solid.
I tell you what, like I was listening to Pat McAfee and they're talking about hockey because they want to start bringing more awareness to hockey, even though they're mostly a football show. They want to start bringing, and they're like, and it's so true because like the NHL commissioner and NHL like organization as a whole, they suck at marketing their sport. Nice. Their sport is incredible. It has all the sports almost combined into one. Yeah. It has like soccer with the goal scoring, it has football with the tackling and just the physicality of it. It has basketball with the up and down, like constant pace. It has, these guys are super athletes. They're from all over the world. They have amazing stories, like guys having to escape from Russia and like wherever Croatia, other countries they come from. And it's just like, there's so many storylines. The game itself is so entertaining. And it's like, they suck at marketing it. They just suck at it. Like that NHL should be so much bigger. And it's not like it blows my mind. Like to me, I think it's personally, I mean, this is just my opinion. I find it more entertaining than basketball, but basketball has done a great job at branding and marketing itself. Granted, their ratings are some of the lowest it's been in years, in a long time. Like basketball ratings have kind of tanked a lot, but their online presence has actually increased, which is kind of weird. You think it would correlate, but it doesn't. But yeah.
Well, my opinion, I was thinking about this and why it's also not as popular, right? It is a great sport, when you're exposed to it, and the marketing and everything that plays into it. But what I feel like also with the fans, obviously it's a very select fan base, and basketball, football, baseball's more popular because the fan base can relate. Majority of people growing up has either tried these sports, played on these teams or anything. But honestly, how many people personally has played the sport of hockey, So, they have a very late fan base, like me, the only way for me to really enjoy it was to go to a live game and actually experience it. I've never played hockey. I don't know anyone that plays hockey or has ever competed. We grew up going to our friends' basketball games. We've played basketball tournaments. We go to our cousins' baseball games, soccer, football. But you don't go to anybody's hockey games. That's not just like, it's not a common thing to play. I mean, that's why I feel like the popularity isn't really set. But if they keep the marketing, and I don't know how easily accessible it is to actually play growing up. It might be a very expensive sport. Getting the blades, the practices, you have to have access to a hockey rink.
Well, here's my idea of it, and like here's my like opposition to that is that I think yes, you're losing that element. Maybe not as many people play it, but it is a very international game. So you have people from multiple different countries with millions of population that watch and love hockey. And then secondly, I mean, we can look at other sports. I mean, how many people do MMA? Very few people. A lot of people are scared to get hit. But people, and same thing with boxing. I mean, yeah, you might know some people. It's very rare to come across somebody who boxes or does MMA. But we love the physicality of it. And then that's another sport that hockey kind of has is like there's moments where mandatory you have to go out there and fist fight somebody.
Yeah, I was waiting for that last game.
Like it's like I don't know if you guys saw. I forgot what game it was. I think it was the Capitals and another one. It was an accident play and they got into a scuffle, and now like they kind of they were forced to fight each other even though they didn't really want to, and everybody kind of knew it was an accident, but they're kind of like you have to fight.
Yeah.
And but anyways, back to the thing though. I think you got to look at hockey has to look at themselves as more as an entertainment thing, because even look at WWE. I mean, look at the success of WWE and how many people watch that every single day and like for every single week for decades now. I mean, except for COVID era, like there hasn't been a time where they missed a show. And I think they need to embrace the entertainment that their sport offers. And I think, you're missing out on the idea that maybe people didn't play it. But I mean, there's tons of people that cover sports that never even played the sport. So I
agree. But again, like my point was just like the exposure of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're not exposed to it.
I see what you mean.
When would you end up becoming a fan? Like,
but that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. So they need to do a better job of marketing their sport, because it's a great sport. It's like they really should market it.
I agree.
The reason I got exposed to hockey was like, when I was a little kid, I was, very into baseball. That's all I would play. I've been playing baseball since I was like 4 or 5 years old. And the Panthers actually went to a playoff games. And I had one of the kids on my team, his dad had season tickets. And he took me to a game. And, not that I knew hockey or anything. Like I didn't know the rules, or just like you, Jojo. I was like a little fucking like 8-year-old kid, whatever. I didn't know the rules or anything. But it was like super fun. Like it was very exciting. Like this was when they had the rat, because I guess there was a story of where like one of the players when they won the wild card or something, he killed a rat with his hockey stick or something.
And by the way, we missed the rat toss because we left early. Yeah. I forgot about that.
But they lost the game, so I was like,
that's not as entertaining.
Nobody's not. It's better when you win. But so like when I was at the game as a little kid, like that was exciting. It's like, oh, what are they doing? They're just throwing stuff on the thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is like crazy. Like, why would they do that? So it was super fun for me. But I got exposed to them because they were in the playoffs, and as a young kid, I guess that built that kind of excitement. And really, we could talk about this in general. Like me, as far as I was very into baseball as a young kid, young Yankees fan. That's why I still kind of root for them. But that's because when I was playing baseball, the Yankees were winning at the time, like around that time, like 94, 95, whatever. And so I saw them as like the top tier of like, these are the best players because they're going to win that championship. And same thing with basketball. Like I got into the Heat later in high school is when I actually started watching and caring, is because they were in the playoffs and they actually had a chance to win. So many times I saw the Heat where they were just playing and they never had a chance to win. But like when they were doing playoffs, it was very exciting for me. So like we can just talk about that in general. I mean, we're talking about hockey, what we jumped off on. But to me personally, I always got exposed to sports, or I started caring about it. Besides baseball, I started caring about it when it was exciting for like my home team. They were in the playoffs, the Panthers in the playoffs, the Heat in the playoffs. This is exciting basketball. So I don't know how that goes over to you guys, Jojo. I don't know how like it was for sports with you, like picking your sports team, because I know you also play basketball, watch basketball and baseball and stuff. So like, how was it for you getting exposed to different sports?
Well, I mean, overall, growing up in New York, that's a major sports city, right? So, everyone around you is competing, in life and, on the court, on the field, off the field. So that's just the atmosphere, but naturally. But I give credit to my older brother because he's the one that kind of exposed me. I see what he would do. He'll play basketball, this and that, and I always wanted to do it as well. And then, I caught up with my natural, competitive side came out of me, and and that's I grew up playing basketball, baseball. I've wrestled, I ran track. I play handball in New York. I've done it all, man. So like, I feel like it's obviously part of where I grew up, and just the environment there, the willingness to compete and win. And that's what you're exposed to in the media, man. They blast the Yankees in your face. That's the first thing you hear and see about. Obviously, they have a winning reputation. The Giants, even though I'm not a Giants fan, in recent years they have 2 championships. We all know the history with the Knicks out there. Like it's crazy. Like you already know New York's a major sports city, so you can't avoid it, man. You can't avoid it. And everyone out there, they love to play any sport.
And how did you fall in love with the Jags or whatever other team?
Well, where I grew up, football is a lifestyle. It just is. Like you when you go to North Florida, it's a breeding ground of talent, just like football is in general. And I remember talking to Jojo about this, how weird it is, because you say up in New York City, like you guys don't have football teams, right?
It's just they are in certain parts. Like a lot of schools don't.
Yeah, because you don't have the space, right?
Yeah. So like if you're in a more like urban area and you have the space for like a football field, those are the schools that have it. Any school in Manhattan really doesn't have it, but Queens, the Bronx, any other borough but Manhattan, like they pretty much have.
Did your high school have football?
It did actually, and yeah, they weren't too good. They had it's up and down, but it was still like one of the most popular, sports in the school. Obviously, like football, everybody wants to be on the football team.
But it is weird.
But yeah, we did have a football team.
But I remember you telling me it's like, but basketball was just taken more serious, and you can kind of like see that too, like just out of the prospects that come out. Like you always hear basketball players coming out of New York or somewhere in the Northeast, Philly or Boston, or whatever. But like for like in Florida and in Texas too, it's the same thing over there. Like football is just a lifestyle. Like it's church in the morning, and then right after that, it's football. Like it's just what it is. And then also too, like it's kind of weird because I'm such a minority where I come from, where like I'm not a huge college football fan, but like where I grew up, college football is probably bigger than the Jags. Like I think people will take the Gators over the Jaguars. It's just like Gator Nation is real up there. Like I mean, every single kid I knew growing up had a Gators jersey. Every single kid, it was either Gators or Knowles. Like it was one of those two, but primarily Gators, with a sprinkle of Knowles here and there and a sprinkle of Georgia fans, but mostly Gators. Gators is the overwhelming thing, and like everybody's a Gators fan or a Knowles fan. You're like high schools are split. Like kids would have arguments about who was better, Gators or Knowles, and then but as a whole, where we all came together was for the Jags. So it was like because they're just who and we kind of struggle a little bit because we've been so bad for so long. So like, yeah, I just being where I grew up, football is just, it's a lifestyle. I mean, some of the top recruits every single year is just, I mean, I'm sure Gabe can even attest to it. Like being here in South Florida, it's kind of the same idea. It just breeds talent. So you're just kind of around it all the time.
Same thing. Like, I don't have any family members that went to UM. I know some friends now that have graduated. But I don't know anybody that went to UM, but everything is very, South Florida centric. So my family, whenever, holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we're always watching UM, or we're always watching Dolphin games, or, when Christmas comes, we're watching the Christmas games on NBA, because usually the Miami Heat were playing sometimes when it was like Dwayne Wade and Kobe. So like, it's very, like you said, it's very like even in our family, everything's Miami, especially with like the college teams. Like that's my college team, just because I always want to root for the home team, even though I never went to the school. I would have loved gone to UM if I had, the money for it, but yeah, like you said, like that, it kind of just ingrained from when we were young. Like, they kind of built that culture, and even I would say now, even for all the sports, like I do like basketball. I like Heat basketball, and I'll watch basketball, but I'm not like a super fanatic where I watch all the games all the time, and I'll tell you all the scores from Portland and LA. Like
it's just not a Florida thing. It's just not a Florida thing.
I would say like I watch the Heat when the Heat play, or like maybe it's the East Coast team is on, but like I'm not gonna stay up till 10 o'clock to watch fucking Utah Jazz play, I don't know, Golden State or something.
Yeah,
like, that's not for me. I'll wait for now. Like if now there's playoffs, like I want to see like who's gonna move on because now we know the better teams are around. So like I'm very, I guess I would say not casual, but yeah, I'm probably a casual fan in that way. Where like I'm a fan of basketball and I'll watch my team play, but not necessarily watching all 10,000 games. Like baseball's going on right now, and I'm not really paying attention to it. I'm paying attention to some of the games, but I'm more concerned now with like hockey because hockey's in the playoffs, NBA's in the playoffs, and I got teams. Like I got skin in the game right now, so like I'm more paying attention to that. Even though I do like baseball, I played it, most of my life, and I like to watch it. Uh, I'm not really paying attention to it just because my attention's on other things as far as sports teams. You know what I mean?
I will say to Gabe, like I'm sure I don't know if you're old enough though to experience it, but like I'm sure it's kind of the like how I was saying with the Gators is kind of how it was like down here, like during the early '90s and like even or probably the entire '90s and maybe early 2000s with when UM was just like a powerhouse. Like Jojo, I don't know if you know, but UM like from late 80s to like early 2000s, they were the Alabama of their time. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
They
I actually
like,
do know because that's all you ever hear about.
Warren Sapp, Michael Irving, Frank Gore, like Andre Johnson, like so many people. Like
Jojo knows. When we were driving to Sunrise, I was listening to one of the directors of this guy named Billy Corpen. He was doing he was talking to other filmmakers, and he was the guy that directed the U and the U Part 2 that went on ESPN 30 for 30. And
I know Billy Corben. He was on a he did the Cocaine Cowboys too, didn't he?
Cocaine Cowboys. He did Cocaine Cowboys.
He was on
probably his biggest one.
He was on Joe Rogan. That's how I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's a super Miami guy. So like, going back, like you said, UM, it was UM everything. Every Sunday, because if we hang out for birthdays or whatever, or I mean Saturdays, whatever. I'm saying for like birthday parties or gatherings, family gatherings, we always all my uncles gather around. I got like fucking 8 uncles. Always sit around and talk about UM, and we talk about the Dolphins. UM and the Dolphins. UM and the Dolphins.
Think about it. Yeah. Did you guys ever watch Young Rock?
Yeah, I'm actually watching it now. Yeah.
I don't know if you got to the point, but like there's a point where he's like, he got all these offers from anywhere else, but he's like, I want to go to the U. The U is where they won championships. It's like, and it's weird to think that like you look at the U now and it's just like they're a top 25 program, but they're not what they were. They were like
man. They were a lot of these fans, I mean, kudos to them, right? They're still diehards, they're repping their team, but they're holding on to that history. And in the podcast when we were listening, right, he was talking about like what it's gonna take to get that reputation back. Like that we're top 5 in the nation consistently. Like to get like we're
it's
Bama
either
now.
A championship or you lost. Or it's a failed season. It's like a championship or it's nothing. And that's
exactly what he was talking about too.
And same thing with the Gators. I mean, the Gators are like that too. I'm not a Gator fan, but it's how it is. It's like if you don't win a championship, it's like that whole Southeastern Conference and like all those. Yeah, if you don't win a championship, it's over. Like nobody gives a fuck about bowl games. I mean, fucking Kyle Pitts and Kadarius, all those guys sat out for the bowl game. It's about winning chips, man. That's what it is. Yeah. But it's crazy. It's like, man, when will that time come for Alabama? But I think as long as Nick Saban's there, Alabama's gonna be. The problem with UM went through a lot of coaches, and it's inevitable that it's gonna happen when Alabama's consistently just had their guy.
And a lot of those young players, they go to other teams, right? They get recruited. There's a lot of these guys that you see, they go to other schools like Amari Cooper, a Miami guy. Is Chad Johnson. Miami guy. Who you want to name? Devonta Freeman, Miami guy. These guys grew up. They went to high school here. They were in all these. What do they call them? All these little. That's not in baseball. We say little league. It's like AAU? Not AAU's basketball. They're like in these
7-on-7
leagues. Yeah, they're on these.
Pee-wee
in Miami. Yeah. I will say Pee Wee, but I think there's another name for it. But they're on these young teams, and they go to high schools here. They go to Northwestern. They go to Edison. They go to Miami Central here. And all these schools come down and they pluck all the talent here. There's a ton of talent, ton of guys from Miami that grew up here. That
what it is though. Like I get why that happens too. Not everyone wants to stay local. They they want to experience the dorm life. Get out of their city. So they don't really think of the bigger picture. Like
but those kids
UM used to be, and we can make it great again if they stay local. But
here's because I remember I don't know, maybe it was the doc. I remember a long time ago they were talking about what UM was, because I didn't know. I mean, I was too young. But they were taught like and how UM became such a powerhouse back then was because of they were taking their local talent. Nobody else was touching that talent. Everybody was like going from Texas to North Florida, California, Hawaii, and all that. But like Miami, how Jimmy Johnson like turned that team into something was he was taking local guys. And now to this day, like there's renowned high school programs in South Florida that like they I mean, there's so many guys from down south that are playing. I mean, Lamar Jackson's he went to Miami High.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater is a Miami guy. He went to,
so many guys.
That's kind of hard now. I don't see that going.
Or even Broward too.
Especially with, we're talking about Miami in general, but I'm saying like in general, college and even in sports, like there's not really a lot of places where players they stay local, you know what I mean? And the Heat, all we got right now is Udonis Haslem, and Udonis Haslem went to Gainesville. You're talking about UF. He's from Udonis Haslem's from Miami, but he went to school. He could have gone to school anywhere, and he went to school at UF. But obviously he came back and he's a Heat lifer, literally a Heat lifer. In Miami Heat, they throw that Heat lifer around. We call Dwayne Wade a Heat lifer, even though he went to Chicago, even though he went to Cleveland. Heat lifer. But UD, legit Heat lifer. But I don't see that like in the pros or in college like that. I love it when like the Miami Dolphins just drafted Jalen Phillips. He went to UM. I think he's from California, but I think he went to UM. So that's kind of cool.
Nice, staying in,
Allen Hurns is another guy, a wide receiver that he went to UM and now he's staying. So I like to see that shit.
Yeah, he played in Jacksonville. Yeah, he went undrafted though.
Yeah, but he went to school at UM. But I like to see when players kind of stay local. Like I don't know, that makes me root for the players even more. You know what I mean?
I think some guys
South Florida teams.
But I do think some guys like playing for their hometown team because it's like their hometown team. It's like there's nothing as much as you probably want to leave home. There is something about like I'm representing the city I'm coming from.
Yeah,
like,
that pride, that pride comes in, and you got your city, backing you up and rooting for you. But on the other hand, you got to think of the other side, man. Some of these guys find, college or trying to go pro as a way to escape from where they are, you know what I mean, or how they grew up or everything like that and try to better themselves. Some people just don't want to stay in that environment, for whatever reasons growing up. So it's 50-50,
I mean, think of Tim Tebow. I don't think Tim Tebow would have came back for any other team other than the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I think it took for him to be hometown guy.
Well, and also his coach. That's his coach from
his
US.
Coach. So. I mean, Tim Tebow's a Florida guy. Like,
I don't think he was getting 10 other offers from other schools. Like,
honestly, I was gonna say, I get that, but who else was offering him anything anyway?
I don't think so either. But I'm saying, say if Urban Meyer went somewhere else, I don't necessarily know if he went. Say if Urban Meyer went to, I don't fucking know, like
the stars aligned for Tebow. It was the right coach, the right location, the right team, and everything was just.
I don't know if he would leave if he went to New York.
Perfect situation for him to come back. I get that.
I do want to wrap up though with NHL though. I will say I do think NHL are making steps, and I think that them signing with ESPN was big, and a part of the reason their marketing has sucked is because they've been signed with NBC for fucking forever, and NBC.
That's exactly what I was gonna bring up to you as well. I'm like, they are making power moves, and we discussed a few episodes back. How they signed with ESPN and made a contract.
Who the fuck watches NBC Sports Network? I mean, obviously you have standard NBC, which but like how many games are on that? A lot of stuff was on the NBC Sports Network, and not a lot of people have that, but everybody has ESPN, so that should make a big change.
Yeah. I think as far as like
Stephen A hyping it up too, so
I'm not really into now it makes sense. I mean, it's more important now depending on whatever network you're on, because now everything's going streaming. So like whenever you're on is going to determine how many people are going to listen, watch, and listen. But generally, like I'll just put on wherever the game is, whatever team I want to watch, I'm going to put it on the TV. But I mean, obviously things are going away from that going forward.
But like my thing was like, how many people have ESPN Sports Network and NBC Sports Network, and it's like everybody gets. It's just having that awareness, and like I think that helps a lot.
I could agree. To move on, you brought up a couple points regarding the team you're representing right now. What you got on right now? You got NBA playoffs. NBA
Yeah, nobody wants to
playoffs.
see your titties, man. No one wants to see your titties.
Listen, stop flashing the camera. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see all that. Listen, man, you already exposed your age earlier, talking about the historic teams out here back in the 60s and 70s. Listen, our viewership was good, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, bro, you got a rematch going on against the Milwaukee Bucks, bro. What is going on in your mind? How you feel confident? Are you worried? Did you guys make the necessary adjustments compared to last season? Was last season a fluke beating them, bro? I got so many questions, bro. How you feel going against them?
All right.
First
Let's
round.
talk about this. Let's talk about the season, because going into the season, obviously starting, we talked about how early on, with all this COVID stuff, injury stuff, for about like 20, 25 games, I'll say 20 games. I'll be conservative. 20 games, they were not playing full roster, full strength. And obviously, coming down the pike to the playoffs, I always thought that the Miami Heat was the bubble a fluke. No, it was not a fluke. I think they were properly Eastern Conference champions. Right? They were meant to be there, regardless of what people say. Because guess what? You were talking about the bubble. Oh, we didn't have enough. Bro, everybody was in the bubble, bro. Y'all went to the same freaking building. No excuse. Everybody has literally the same. Y'all got the same viewpoints. There's no fans to block your viewpoint. This is all black in the sky because there's no fans there. Everybody's the same. And guess what? The Heat came out. So going to the season, I knew that, with all the signings and stuff going on, especially with like James Harden moving or whatever, that it was going to be tough. I always thought Miami was a mid-tier team. I thought they were very, contenders going forward, but mid-tier team. Maybe not the top team, but easily a 4-5-6. And I was kind of disappointed that, that we fell. We lost, I think we were down half game from Atlanta, and finally the freaking New York Knicks finally have a decent team. They've been losing so damn long, fucking irrelevant for decades and decades. The Knicks been talking about the mega. Bro, I haven't seen them win a playoff game or a playoff series, and whatever. Since I didn't care about them, but whatever. So I feel like the East improved as far as teams in the East. All the teams improved. The 76ers got better. They acquired some players. Milwaukee's gotten better, I believe. They acquired some players and improved on their play.
Better than last year? They were a 1 seed in the East last year.
I think they got better. They're more of a cohesive team, and I think more of a threat this year than they were last year. The Nets got better. Knicks got better. So there's a lot of teams that moved up. And, as far as Miami making moves, they really didn't make a lot. There was talk about Giannis, but obviously Giannis resigned. He stayed with the Bucks. And they're trying to get James Harden. James Harden signed with the Nets. So, they've done some acquisitions, some small play, but I still feel like we have a cohesive team. A lot of the guys, what's his name? Deadless, and we had to pick up Achua as the guy they drafted. Been playing pretty well, a good backup to Bam. So for not making a lot of moves, I feel like the Miami Heat are still contenders. So going into the series come tomorrow when they play the Bucks with an improved Bucks teams, I still got to see it, man. I still believe that we gentlemen sweep them last time. We beat them 4-1 in the series, and until I see something else, because Jimmy Butler hasn't played a series at all against the Bucks. They have no tape. There's no tape you can find this year of Jimmy Butler playing the Bucks. So until I see otherwise, I'm still believing my Heat. I do believe the Bucks are a better team, and it's still going to be tough competition. Obviously, Giannis is still a monster, but
you got the Heat taking the series.
I got the Heat in 5, baby.
Some way, somehow.
Heat in 5.
Heat in 5, always, baby. Until I see otherwise,
this man's optimistic. He said,
that's
Heat
put that
5.
on the YouTube short. Put that on the YouTube short. Heat in 5.
Heat in 5.
This guy got some balls. He said Heat in 5.
Until I see otherwise, man. Until I see otherwise.
I respect.
Listen, I seen Jimmy Butler put on the line. Bam, I believe, is improved. And right now, towards the end of the season, I think they lost a disappointing game, but they beat teams. They beat the Celtics, who people are like, oh, it's a fluke, bubble, whatever. Celtics suck, barely in the playoffs. I don't even know if they advanced or not, but they suck. We beat them.
Sure.
Beat the 76ers. We lost to the Bucks the last game, the series before the playoffs started. But I think we match up well, man. I think we're gonna match up well. The only problem I see is like seeing this series, because last year Giannis was out for a little bit for a game. or for was he out for a game or for?
Yeah, I don't know if it was his knee or his ankle or something like that.
He was out for a game, and Middleton had he had to show up and win a game for him. But I think the biggest threat I see is Middleton and Lopez, Robin Lopez, right? Robin Lopez, or I'm saying the wrong brother. I think it's Robin Lopez. Those are the biggest threats I see, because I can see, them putting, Bam on Giannis all day, whatever, or Bam and Jimmy. They're pretty good on the double covers. They play zone pretty well. But it's
do
just
you think playoff hero is coming back? Because he's been a little quiet this season.
He has been quiet this season. His shooting has been getting a little better. They're relying on him more for 3-pointers, and his shooting has been okay. I think he's been shooting on a pretty high click, but is that sustainable? That's probably the biggest question with Hero. And I'm gonna believe him. Yeah. Duncan Robinson is shooting lights out. Jimmy
I'm about to say he's been balling. He's been balling. Duncan Robinson has been going on.
Yeah, nice catch and shoot player, man. That's what he's in there for. Like, aside from Hero, we all know he can shoot too. But, it's kind of not fair. I'm not gonna say not fair, but Duncan Robinson, he's in there for a reason. Catch and shoot guy. Like that's his whole purpose. You know what I mean? He's gonna run around screens and get open and just take his shots. Right? Kudos to him for knocking him down. Whereas Hero, he's expected to drive mid-range, kind of three. So I guess his shot selection, he's still a young player. And once he develops that, I feel like he'll be elite. But we got to see the playoffs. That's where stars are made. Like last year, he got his name out there because of his performance. And in this season, everyone had high expectations for him, which not to say that, he really didn't meet them, but, it's his second season. He still has time to develop. He just had an amazing playoff run he put his own name on the map. But he kind of said that he did that to himself. You know what I mean? Putting his expectations so high. This is his chance, I feel like, for you guys, for the Heat, for him to make another name and just to keep it going to show he's like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely, I expect, a lot of him, because he's definitely the future, right? All these players are getting older. Dragic is getting older. I don't know how long he's going to play or be as effective as he is. So he's the future of the Heat. Obviously, there were talks about him getting traded for Harden. That didn't happen. I expect a lot out of him. If not for him to do great, for him to do well at least. You know what I mean?
All right, dope. I already know the playoff matchup I'm excited about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's talk about your playoff Lakers. They made it out. The last game we saw them, or the last game I saw them, was they were playing the Golden State Warriors.
That shit was a nail biter. That was a nail biter. I watched it.
Top three game of the year. First of all, that
was a really good game. I saw the end of it.
That was like, I don't want to compare it to Game 7 of finals. Obviously, nothing's like that, but it was kind of close, right? The excitement was there.
Everything's on the line.
Even though everything was on the line, and lucky enough, the loser of that team still had another chance to fight for a playoff spot. So I feel like if that wasn't the situation, a little more exciting. You know what I mean? Because now look, Golden State playing tonight.
Hold on, you cut off for a second, Jojo. Repeat that.
I was saying, like, lucky enough that the loser of that team, of that game, has another chance to make the playoffs tonight, which is Golden State versus Memphis. If that was an elimination game right there for the last spot, oh man. Yeah. Look, so the Lakers going against the number 2 seed Suns, which, you know what? I'm gonna give the Suns their credit, bro. They finished second in the West. Not an easy, feat. Oh, with the
shout out to Booker, man. He finally got a good team. Finally.
Support of Chris Paul, man. That's the Chris Paul effect, bro.
He didn't leave.
They were 1 win away last year from advancing to the Western Conference Finals, bro. 1 win. So I'm sorry, not the conference finals, but to the next round. They pushed it to 7 games. But that's what happens here. You add a vet like Chris Paul with the likings of a young team and a talented Devin Booker. Look at them, 2nd seed in the West. And it sucks because they worked so hard all season. You get up to the 2nd seed, and your first round matchup is the defending champs.
That's a true test, man. It's a true test. This shit ain't going to come easy. You're going to have to face them eventually. You're going to face somebody tough. And you know what? Get them out of the way. Get them out of the way early. You grind, go tooth and nail with LeBron and AD. And then you're feeling pretty good going into the semifinals and the Eastern Conference Finals.
As we all know, like playoffs all about matchups. I don't see anybody on that team that could honestly guard AD. Then again, you got to watch out for that, Chris Paul, Booker duo. They're a young, fast team. Even though the Lakers, number 1 ranked defense, which is amazing, which I didn't honestly expect that, going against a high-powered offensive team. So I'm excited to see this matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But speaking of the losing team, Oakland, they're going to face Memphis. That's actually going on, just started, but let's think past that game. So give your prediction of like who you think is going to win it, and then who's going to go on to play Utah, and if they can compete with Utah.
So my honest opinion, Utah Jazz, number 1 seed. I feel like they played great this whole season. They're obviously a better team than last season, but they still haven't proved anything to me yet. It's kind of like a fluke number 1 seed.
Isn't that funny? With both number ones, Sixers and the Jazz, are like both number ones.
And no one feels confident in either team going to the finals.
I know, dude.
Do you feel confident with either team going to the finals, honestly speaking?
I mean, it's funny, like you said, they haven't proved nothing. The
Warriors as an 8th seed, I feel like can really beat the number 1 seed Utah. I could see an upset there, 100%.
You have experience. They've been
veteran
playing
coaching,
hot,
veteran players,
and they're playing hot.
They have everything.
Like
you want to go with the hot team right now, right?
This might be the 1 year. This is the 1 year where you might have 7 and 8 really like flip the script and like really pull off upsets. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, yeah.
It's crazy to think about, right? So you got the defending champs at 7, then you got a red hot Golden State Warriors who, if they win tonight, they're gonna play Utah, which in a 7-game series, Stephen Curry, league MVP right now, he's gonna win that. You're gonna beat him 4 times.
They're taking it from.
No, if everyone else shows up with the Warriors, they really have a chance.
You think they're gonna? Well, I mean, obviously Steph Curry's been playing amazing, but you think? I know what's Nikola. He's been like leading the way with Denver and stuff. So you think they're gonna take it from him?
I think he's up there for contention.
My prediction for that will be
he's been like the favorite almost like 80% of the season.
And then every week it changed. It was like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, LeBron. It was like every week it was changing depending on who.
I think you got to give it. I mean, you talking about the whole season, dude. We can't be like looking it into like this guy has been the favorite for like 80% of the season, and he still hasn't really like. It's not like he played worse. It's just Steph Curry's the big name.
He's hotter player right now. Yeah,
but it's like you're talking about the entire season, like,
and they got you a 1 seed. I'm sorry, that's on the Nuggets.
Yeah, that's the Nuggets. Yeah. Nuggets
are still they have a higher seeding.
Third. Third.
So you got to take that into account. They're a top 3 team in the West.
Yeah. And I think it's just Steph Curry's the big name, and sadly, I think he might get it, but I think you got to give it to them. I mean, that dude. Like I said, I don't know much about his stats or anything, but all I know is like he's been talked about as like the guy. Like he's been like MVP in contention like the entire season. And when you look at MVP as a whole, you got to look at the most valuable player in the league. I mean, what is the Nuggets without him? And like he's been consistent. I mean, he's been playing the whole season. He's not just little hot streaks. It's been like the whole season. People have been talking about this guy. But the West is going to be looking good, man. The West is tight. The bottom half of past the Sixers, past the Heat, nothing really looks that like competitive. I mean, Boston's going to face Brooklyn. Washington, I think Washington and Sixers is actually going to be a pretty good matchup. If Westbrook and Beal can play as well as they did in that final game, I think they could make Philly feel uncomfortable. I think they can make it feel uncomfortable.
That's going to be an interesting series because, and I say this, pressure's on the Sixers, not Washington. Sixers finished the number 1 seed in the East. They have everything to prove. They have yet to come out of the East all these years. This has to be their year. And Westbrook And Washington, they had a terrible season. Somehow made it to that 8th seed. They fought their way to the 8th seed. Bro, they were 20 games under 500 at one point. They have nothing to lose. Like you said,
they're hot.
They're gonna make the 76ers very uncomfortable, bro. Very uncomfortable. And then you got that Westbrook and Joel Embiid beef that they've had the past couple of seasons. This is gonna be fun to watch. I feel like, if Washington steals game 1, that's it. That's gonna set the tone for the entire series.
Pressure.
You're gonna rattle Embiid. You're gonna rattle Ben Simmons. Everyone's gonna panic. Oh, you're the 1 seed. All this talk. You already know how the media is gonna play it.
Bro, I mean, I'm looking at the stat line right now. I mean, 142 to 150. 142? Like, shit, I thought I would never see those numbers except for all-star games. And a regular season game to score 1-4. Like, dude, the NBA has become straight offense.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed this year. There's a lot of
in a playoff game.
Yeah, the defense has been they've been scoring a lot of high scoring games, like up there, like 130, 120. A lot of them. But I don't know. I can speak to, like, is it better shooting? Is it just they're shooting? Is it the 3 is more valuable? That's why, and nobody's playing defense. I don't know, but obviously you're gonna want your team to play defense because, like, I mean, how long can you keep that high click unless you're like a Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, or some player that can just produce offense like that? Like that's like not sustainable. Like you might win a game like that, but you're not gonna win a series scoring 160 points in a freaking game. Like,
yeah, I think that's gonna be.
But not a bunch
I think it's gonna be really interesting because, like, let's not sleep on Joel Embiid. I mean, when he's been playing, he's been balling. But like you said, you can't. The Sixers never show up. They never show up. And you have Westbrook, who's been there and done that. He hasn't won a championship, but he's been far. He's made it to the final. No, yes, he has. My bad. Back in OKC. He made it to the final. Yeah. They won. Wait, did they win? No.
Lost against the Heat. That was the Heat.
The Heat, yeah. It was the Heat's first championship, I think. During the LeBron era. Yeah. So, I mean, he hasn't won one, but he's been there, done that. He's made deep between the Rockets and specifically also the Oklahoma. So, I mean, Bradley Beal and the rest of the Wizards haven't really made it deep, but I think they keep on playing hot. Bradley Beal's been playing fucking lights out. That dude's been balling. So, I think if you can get Westbrook to play like he did that game, which isn't even really, like, super crazy, but he did play well. But I think they can make him uncomfortable. I don't know if they necessarily win, but it's going to be tough. I think you'd rather face the Celtics, honestly. The Celtics.
So what's your favorite series? I guess I'm gonna watch the Heat Bucks just because people are down talking the Heat. I think the Heat are the underdogs in this series. They probably have the toughest road to hoe. Even if they go forward, they want to go to Eastern Conference Champs. They got to go through the Bucks, then they go through the 76ers, and then possibly the Nets in the end. So they probably got the toughest road to the championship if they do go all the way. But what is like y'all's series that you're looking at? I guess for right now in the first round, like what is your favorite team or favorite series to watch?
I mean, for me, obviously, like, I'm a Heat guy, so I want to see the Heat play, obviously. Outside of that, honestly, like the West, I mean, Jazz would say most likely Golden State. I mean, unless Memphis can pull out, can do something. I'm going with the idea that Golden State wins tonight. I would like to see Golden State, Utah. I think that'd be interesting. And honestly, I like to see Suns, Lakers. I think high-powered offense versus, like Jojo said, I didn't know that they're the top defense in the league. So I think this is the scariest 7th and 8th seed to ever be placed in the NBA.
Oh, listen, I'm sure the other teams were watching that game, Lakers Warriors, and they're both like, "Damn, either way, we got to play one of them in the 7th."
Yeah.
We got to play one of those teams.
I will say though, the Warriors have kind of lost, like, they're ever since like Clay going down and like everything, they've kind of lost like their intimidation factor. But I mean, you can never sleep on Steph. You still got Draymond, which I mean, he's solid.
Listen, and that's the scariest part, right? They lost their intimidation factor from the past few years, but that's what gets you comfortable. And then boom, No, they're gonna
Steph
strike.
drops 40.
Warriors are gonna strike, bro. You can't sleep. You know they have plenty of experience, man. The goal is to make it to the playoffs. After that, you have to go through every team regardless, whether you're the 1 seed or the 8 seed, right? Yeah. And then, with the coaching and everything, they're going to play the matchups. They're going to adjust. You just got to see if the players show up.
Bro, I thought it was funny that they were rocking the old Oakland thing. They don't even play in Oakland no more. They're playing San Fran.
It's part of the City Series. Nike does the City Series for every team.
But they don't even play in Oakland anymore. I'm pretty. They play in San Fran now.
No, I think
they went across the bay.
Oh no.
Yeah, Oakland lost all their fucking teams. They're about to lose the A's. I don't know if you heard that. Like the A's.
People are betting on that.
The Raiders are gone. They left the arena. Golden State's left the arena and built their brand new one in San Francisco. Which good branding by calling them the Golden State Warriors, so they don't have to worry about changing the name. But they went across the bay. And now they're talking about the A's leaving because they played in the same stadium as the Raiders. The Athletics. Why am I saying the Rays? Athletics. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, A's. Same shit.
The A's.
I thought I said. Oh yeah, I got completely confused. I'm saying A's, but then I was thinking I was saying Rays. Fuck it, whatever. The A's, yeah, Rays. Athletics.
A's.
Because in the Bay, Tampa Bay, that is just like fucking me. Yeah. The A's / Athletics, yeah, they're talking about leaving because they had the same stadium as the Raiders, and that shit's apparently one of the worst stadiums like out.
Worse than Tampa.
Yo, I want to bring up this topic, Kurt. Because I just want to close on NBA. Bring up this topic real quick that was going on in baseball because I haven't watched. I watched baseball last week, but I haven't been watching until recently. And this story came out this past weekend with the Chicago White Sox coach Tony LaRusso. Now, if y'all don't know Tony LaRusso is a coach. He coached for St. Louis. He might have coached some other schools, but this guy is like already in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Retired 10 years ago. And then last year, the White Sox management decided they wanted some 80-year-old coach to coach their young team. And the White Sox are they're a young team and they're expected to do well. So here's the story. This past weekend, I think they were playing the Twins, and they were beating up on the Twins pretty bad. And what happens in baseball a lot of times is if you're getting beat up pretty bad, you don't want to waste your pictures. You want to save them for the next day. Plus 10 runs or whatever. You're just throwing whoever. You're throwing a rather fielding player.
And I know from experience, man. Long story short, that happened to me in high school, bro. I wasn't ready to pitch. Game was gone already. We were already losing, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Gomez, go pitch. I was like, what? Huh? All right.
Yeah. So in baseball, in Major League Baseball, there's no 10-run rule or anything to stop the game. So you gotta play all 9 innings or all 7, depending on whatever the rule is. So they put in this fielder. And the White Sox are already up. So the hitter comes. It's a 3-0 count. This guy is throwing like 75-mile-an-hour curveballs or whatever. He's lobbing up balls. Yeah, this is like not even high school. This is like middle school speed. 75 miles an hour is nothing. When you got guys throwing 100 miles an hour, 75 ain't nothing. So a guy comes up, hits a home run on a 3-0 pitch, and they're already up a whole bunch of points. So controversy is, I think the coach comes out and reports saying that he's disappointed with his hitter. His hitter hit the home run when they're up already. He's disappointed in his hitter. You're not supposed to do that. That's part of the unwritten rules. You don't go swinging at 3-0 pitches when you're up plus 10 runs or whatever. And he's yelling at his own player, and he's saying, "Oh, then how it's going to be disciplined? There's going to be hell to pay." All right. So then one of the players comes out on like social media and says, "Hey, like I'm not down with what coach said. Like fuck that. Like y'all paying me to play baseball, and like what do you expect me not to do? If the guy's going to throw a strike,
mean everything. Your stats are everything in baseball. Your batting average, your batting average is so important. Like
so the player
baseball's the
comes
ultimate
out,
stat sport.
Yeah. The coach is mad at his own player for hitting a home run. The players come out and be like, "Nah, we're not down with that. Like, we're not down with this. It's my job to play baseball." Like, so I was wondering, like, especially with Jojo, because Jojo, you play baseball. What do you kind of think about like these unwritten rules where like a team is getting blown out and guys are going up there, swinging for the fences, or they're bunting on a blowout or something? Like, how do you feel about guys continue, especially in a professional sport like MLB, continue to swing for the fences? I guess.
So with a game like baseball, obviously it's very historic, right? And now they have an old school coach, right? You got an old head in. He plays by the old rules and everything. And we all know, and this happens in basketball as well. A lot of the things change, and a lot, people don't want to adjust to what's going on in today's game. And a little history behind, for people that don't know why you don't swing on the 3-0 pitch, because you don't know if that next pitch is gonna be ball 4. You don't swing really 3-0 unless you're the best hitter, perfect situation. Coach gives you the green light. When I played baseball growing up, you don't swing 3-0 no matter what. Like, you could be winning, losing. It is a hitter's count. But again, you never know. That could be your opportunity to get on base. That could be ball 4 right there. So you don't really swing at 3-0. But I personally feel like in this situation here, because going back real quick to the Yankees, win, lose, draw, whatever, Giancarlo Stanton, he's getting paid to hit home runs. He's getting paid to draw in RBIs. He's getting paid to do all that. He currently has a green light on 3-0 pitches. 3-0, he's swinging. That's a hitter's count. You get a fastball down the middle, whatever, you're swinging, bro. And if it's a bad pitch, you swing and miss, guess what? You're still up in the count. But I feel like in this situation, again, this is where, each kind of clashes, right? You had old school, new school. These guys are competing. They're competing for their jobs. They're competing for salaries. They're competing for the next contract. And he saw an opportunity. Maybe it wasn't the best thing. It kind of relates to like basketball, right? You're up 30, it's 5 seconds left, and you go ahead and dunk the ball or something. So it's kind of disrespectful. It's not really classy. But then in a game like baseball, like, what are you gonna do? What if he swung and he grounded out to second or third or anything? And what? It's a different narrative. It's just the fact that he ended up hitting a home run, which kind of made it flashy. But what if that was his opportunity, to put a name for himself? He saw a good pitch, he swung. It could have been a fly ball, it could have been a pop-up, it could have been anything. It just happened to be a home run. So honestly, I disagree with the coach in this situation, and I get it. It's about respect and everything, going against the other team, but it doesn't guarantee that's going to be a home run. It's not like dribbling up the court and you're dunking and you're up by 50. You know what I mean? Oh, I agree with the players. Like, you know what I mean? Like, today's game, you're going for your stats, you're going for your batting average, and you just want to win. Even though they were up by whatever 20, 10 runs, I don't know, whatever you said, but.
To tag on what you're saying, I always when I was in baseball too, never swing at the first pitch or 3-0 pitch unless you're gonna hit a home run. Don't swing at it. So I mean, in this instance, this guy hit a home run. So, but just like you were taught, like I was taught too, like never swing at the first pitch unless it's on a tee that you can bomb it out. But Julia, how do you feel about like teams, professional teams? We're talking about baseball, but this can be anything, football, whatever. Teams in a blowout, like, do you think that professional players should be piling on? In a professional game, that they should just pile on, or if they have a chance to score even though they're blowing out the other team, that they should do that?
Never slow down. As I said, never slow down. You keep on going, pedal to the metal till the fucking clock strikes 0 or the innings hit 9, and like you keep going. You keep going, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a business, this is a job, and everybody is their own business, and you got to take care of yourself. Like, that's just how it is. Nowadays, teams are quick to drop you. And like, fuck that coach. Because who knows? Say if he didn't swing at it and he didn't get a home run, like, that he cuts him next year. That could have, that home run or whatever it is, like, at the end of the day, players got to look out for themselves. And it's situational. All right, if it's tied up, bottom of the 9th, and like, all right, maybe don't swing at it. But at the end of the day, these guys are professionals. They know what they're doing. And if he trusts his instinct to do it, you sign that player because you believe in that player. So have faith in your player. If your player trusts that he had it, he's lobbing it, and it's going down the middle, and that's what it is. It's one thing if it's like, when you guys are playing, obviously, like, not to downplay anything, but I mean, it was just like little league, like, guys, but like, these guys are professionals, and it's like, they're getting paid millions of dollars to do this, and you have faith, and you're trusting in your process of evaluating to do that. Have faith in your players to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially for up. Especially for up.
I agree with your point. I think moral is kind of like, is it disrespectful? It was the coach's player. Like the coach yelled at his own player for hitting the home run.
Look at this.
He thought it was tasteless. It was tacky, unprofessional. So, what is your opinion on it being professional or not? To go ahead and do that.
This is the exact reason why baseball is dying. The exact fucking reason why baseball is dying. They are so stuck in their head about these dumbass unwritten rules. It's the same reason why Tatis gets like scrutinized from the league, and like why for so many years players who were flashy or did whatever or didn't follow these unwritten rules, they either got beamed by the pitcher or they got railed out by the coach. This old school mentality is the exact reason why baseball is dying. Why, like, make the game more exciting. Make you at the end of the day, it's like you're winning anyways. Let these guys go out there and fucking play and let them just have some fun. You're winning. They're not coming back. Go have fun. Go do it. Go get your stats up. I mean, you see it in Tampa. Look at Tampa when these and the Buccaneers, I should say. Like when these players have stat incentives, it's like, all right, Tom Brady's out there and Bruce Arians are like, all right, we're going to make a play for you. We're going to let you get that. We're going to let you get your bread. Like, we're going to let you, like, you know, at the end of the day, if you're winning and there's 0% chance of a team coming back, like, go out there and play, like, and just go get your stats up, man. Go get your stats. That's how you sell yourself. And like, it doesn't matter if it's baseball, football, basketball. Don't keep going, man. Take advantage that they're taking down these. Take advantage of the fact that like they're probably subbing out their starters and stuff, and just keep on getting fucking points. Get points. Or insane. And if you want to take out your starters, put backups. Let your backups go 100% because this is the only chance they're going to have. Let these guys go hard.
Thanks.
I was gonna say, I understand, like, maybe, you know, in smaller leagues with, you know, smaller kids, I understand how it can be disrespectful. It's like, man, why are you gonna swing, whatever. But it's like in a professional sport, it's like, man, listen, I'm here to play baseball. Like, if you want me to fucking be out, like if my own coach just says, hey, don't swing at any pitches, just let him strike you out. Like, well, just tell the umpire, just call 3 outs and just end the inning. Like, we'll just be on defense until this game is over, because what's the point of me going up to bat if I'm not gonna go bat and swing? You know what I mean?
And honestly, I agree with you because it is a professional, you know, sport. If they want to throw in their first baseman or whatever the case is to go pitch, and they don't want to waste a pitcher, that's on you, bro.
Yeah. They have pitchers available. You have pitchers available. You can pull whoever you want. Yeah. So
you want to go in and throw your backup shortstop, because he pitched in high school, to go pitch to get you out of the game. Nah, homeboy. Yeah. I'm going, 400-foot center on you. Like, that's it.
Take advantage of the situation. You beat their ass, they're going to get their ass beat. Like, that's just how how it is. Like, I'm not going to like hold mercy to you, because at the end of the day, I can lose my job next year. Like, I'm not holding back. Like, and you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. And like, and that's the one. I was gonna say real quick, the one thing that does like obviously it is sometimes a little annoying, like when you see it, like specifically in like basketball, when you see like, players kind of coming divas and stuff like that. But to an extent, I mean, I am glad that they are getting a little bit more power, because like at the end of the day, it's like you're not guaranteed. This isn't like a office job. You're not guaranteed to, like, you got to take advantage of what you can. And I'll never scrutinize somebody for taking advantage of an opportunity that they have like that. So it's like, no, if I'm up to bat and I see this fucker throwing lobs, I'm knocking one out the park. I'm knocking one. Like, I don't give a fuck. And my coach should give me the green light. And that's baseball has all these fucking unwritten rules, and it's why they're dying. Their marketing is ass. They put down their exciting players because it's disrespectful or all this shit. Like, I think now they're starting to loosen up with, like, you have, like I said, with these guys, like, but Tatis in the beginning, dude, he was fucking, like, if you did anything, bat flips and shit like that, like, your ass would get beamed by the pitcher, because fuck that pitcher, you fucking suck. You threw a home run and I hit it. Don't get mad at me because I celebrated. Like, that's always pissed me off the most. Oh, you're gonna be a little bitch and fucking beam me? Wow, what a pussy. Like, how about you strike me out? Like, be a man and strike me out. Like, don't be a little like pussy and beam a ball at me. Like, that's just the most bitch thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, in professional sports. That's my
I just want to bring that up. I just want to bring that up because that was happening over this past weekend. That was probably the biggest thing, and it's just weird because, like I said, Tony LaRusso, he's the older guy. He's already in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he came back, and that was just a big controversy because he has a very young team and a very good team, and like the biggest criticism is like he's not
nasty.
Yeah, he's not a good match as a coach for for the young team, for the young guys.
That generation, man. Yeah. Like it's a different time, and I get it. Like, you retired for a reason. Your time was up. You know what I mean? There's other ways to contribute if you still want to be involved in the game, as in management, this and that. But to be a coach, like, you're actively, involved with the players on an everyday basis, and it's a culture shock. It's different.
You got to adapt, bro. You got to adapt.
I know you can still hold on to values. You know what I mean? Times kind of change,
Respect your past, but acknowledge that things change. Like, that's my thing. Like, and the only reason I think I get so mad because I've seen it personally with like the Jaguars with Tom Coughlin. Like, that dude single-handedly destroyed our franchise. We went from being one play, like a quarter away from making it to the Super Bowl, to like going 1-15, all because of this fucker who was so stuck in his old ways. He got Jalen Ramsey ended up leaving. All these people left because they were tired of his like strict military style timeline. Like, you need to be here at this time. There's no such thing as on time. You're either late or early. He was finding people. It got to the point where the NFLPA put a warning out to all free agents to beware of Jacksonville, because I guess 80% of all grievances filed to the NFLPA came from the Jaguars. Out of all 32 teams, 80% came from them because of fucking Tom Coughlin. And it's like, that's crazy. Obviously Shad Khan, our owner, he was just like, get this fucking, like, we do not need statements coming out saying players can't come here. That dude got fired literally like 30 minutes later. It's like, Tom Coughlin, it's like, yeah, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. I mean, he was our first coach in Jaguars history, and then he came back to be vice president of football operations. But it's like, you got to adapt, and that's what makes Belichick so great. That's what makes Pete Carroll and Bruce Arians, all these guys. You got to adapt. You can't just stick to the same shit. It's why companies go, and it's not just sports. I mean, companies go under and all kinds of other shit if you don't adapt.
Well said, Julian. Well said. We'll definitely have a lot more to talk about on our next episode. This is a great episode.
By the way, the White Sox were my favorites. I don't know if you guys remember opening day. I said the White Sox, I'm rooting for them.
Let me write that down so I don't forget and think you're a bandwagon. Let me get my pen.
I've been saying the White Sox might make a run in the AL.
Julian's backup team. Let me make sure I get this one correct.
Both Chicago teams.
Thank y'all again for listening to the podcast. Appreciate y'all coming out, checking us out. All the things, Real Fan Podcasts. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn. Check us out on, I was going to say Backpage.
Tumblr.
OnlyFans.
Don't forget about OnlyFans. Patreon.
What?
Twitter.
Thank y'all for coming out, checking us out. We'll see you with more NBA, NHL, MLB. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.
Peace.